Hey everybody, today we have a 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee with a Hemi. The left front motor mount that's down there is broken. Let me show you what it looks like when it has a broken motor mount. All right, did you see that motor jumping up and down because that motor mount's broken? The book tells you to remove the manifold to put a support across the front of the engine. We're going to try to do it a different way. We're going to take all this stuff off to get down to the motor mount, put it up in the air, drop the shields down, and see if we can get to it from up top and underneath without having to take out the air conditioning compressor. Okay, so now we're underneath the car. I wanted to get you a look. So we have a differential here. The motor mount is up in here, and of course we have this big plastic shield that's in the way. I shoved the light up in there, and you can see there is the right front motor mount right there. Right there. So hopefully I'll be able to get to this side and get it out. It's up in there. So let me pull this plastic shield off and we'll take a closer look. All right, I got the plastic shield off. It was a bunch of 10mm headed bolts and then two 13mm bolts. So now that I got the light up in here, here is the motor mount that's bad. There's a stud and a nut up there, and then a bolt here and a bolt here. So hopefully this thing has a plastic oil pan. That's probably why they want you to lift it from up top. So we'll have to figure out a way to lift this motor up on a good support that's not on the plastic oil pan. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the air cleaner assembly out and this off. I don't think I'm going to try to lift the engine by the transmission. So this just pops off and you can get this out of your way. We'll throw this over here. And now I can get to the clamp here. You got to loosen up, and then there's a 8mm bolt here you have to take loose, and I think that's it. And then you have the clamp here, and this whole air cleaner assembly should lift out. I'm going to go ahead and get the air cleaner assembly out of here, and we'll look at it. So I got the air filter housing out of the way. Like I said, you had the clamp, the bolt here, you have one electrical connection, you have the two clamps, and it unclips, it just pulls off. I'm going to go ahead and remove the lower box here. So you take the air filter out, get that out of the way, and this one here just has our on push pins. So you should be able just to pull on this and get it out. Sometimes I like to spray a little WD-40 on those pins to get them lubricated to come out, which I think I'm going to have to do. And I'm going to need both hands to do this. So let me get this out. I'll come back and so we can see the motor. Now that I got the box out, like I said, I sprayed those down with a little lubricating oil and it popped up, and there was one clip here on the weather stripping that I took off. So there's the motor mount there behind that heat shield. So I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the power steering reservoir off and lay it over on the engine to get it out of the way, so I have a little bit more clearance to take that heat shield off. Looks like there's a 10mm headed bolt at the top. I don't know if there's just one or two, so I can get to the upper stud on that motor mount. So I finally got the heat shield out. It's got two bolts that, boy, it felt like they had Loctite on them, but I guess it just had a little corrosion. And I was able to get in there with my ratcheting 10mm wrench to get in there and get it out. So now that I have the heat shield out, the heat shield just slid from here right on back. There is the top bolt for the motor mount, there is the bottom bolt for the motor mount, and there's the other bottom bolt for the motor mount. So I'm going to try to get all three of these bolts loose, and then I'm going to figure out how to lift the engine. They want you to take the manifold off and put the special fixture, and then put the support that goes across the fenders. I have the support that goes across the fenders, but what I think I might do is I might hook it around the belt tensioner, because it's really, really nice and big and thick, and it's part of the water pump, and it looks like it's secured very well to the front of the engine. So I might put it there to lift up the engine. I might have to come over here on this side that you can't see very well, there's no light, and I might have to take the upper bolt off of this motor mount so the engine will lift up higher. And of course there's another heat shield. This side actually is harder than that side. So let me continue working on this. Let me get those bolts out and figure out how I'm going to get this mount and the engine up. So this is how I'm going to get the two lower bolts. I have a 15mm swivel on like my 3-foot extension and my ratchet, so I can get down there to get that one out. And I'm going to be able to get the other side out the same way. And then the upper bolt, I'm just going to probably get in here with another ratcheting, 15mm ratcheting wrench to loosen that up. Let me give you a little closer view of that down there. Yeah, the AC lines are in the way, but I think we can work around that. All right, since this one has a plastic oil pan and there's nothing to grab to up top unless you take the manifold off and you take the special tool, I've taken the jiggle jack and I've pinned it in between the AC compressor and the timing cover, and I've barely lifted up on the engine, and as you can see here, the mount's loose. So I just have to go up a little bit more to get this mount to slide out. So let me go ahead and get the mount out and the motor up a little bit, get the motor up a little bit more, I'll get the mount out, and we'll get the new one put in. So unbelievable, I got it up high enough, and I got the stud out of the upper mount, and now the motor mount actually just falls right out. And there's the old motor mount. We have the new motor mount here. We'll go ahead and put that bad boy in. So this was not as hard as I thought it was going to be. It actually looks like the other side is a lot harder. So there's the big gap. And luckily we didn't need the special tool to lift the engine up. So we'll get the new motor mount in, bolted up, and lowered down. So there's a quick overview on how to get the mount out of these and how to get the mount back in. I'm not going to show that. It's just the opposite of putting it in. And like I said, this side here would be the same way. You would have to lift it up. This side, I don't know where you'd lift it up at. That oil filter housing probably isn't strong enough. I'm not doing that motor mount, I'm doing the left one, so it's going to be done here. So anyway, everybody, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, please share, please hit that bell so you get notification of my new videos, and we'll talk to you all later. Thanks. All right, bonus footage time, bonus footage time. So I got the new motor mount up in here, and I had to raise the engine like another inch to get the stud up where it needed to be. But what's good about this is I was able to get this bolt started and the back bolt started, so I won't have to fight those bolts in from the top. So there's your bonus footage. Start the bolts from the bottom. Then you just lower the motor back down, and I'll get them tight from up top, and the job will be pretty much done except for putting all that stuff back together. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. There's your bonus footage.